What's up everyone and welcome back to another episode of SW Answers. Last week guys, on the last episode you guys got over 100 comments, which is just mind-blowing. That's an amazing number of comments, so thank you guys so much for that. But today's goal, I was going to set you 70, but I know you guys can easily reach that, so I'm going to go with 80. See if you guys can smash that again this week. But let's get straight in with the questions. First up this week, RoboNut03 asked if I could collaborate with any YouTuber, who would it be? And I'd honestly say Matt or the Brick Wiz. I think he's a really big inspiration to me. Some of his buildings are incredible, some of his mocks are really sick, and yeah, I think that'd be awesome. And I think that's probably my one that I would choose if I could have a collaboration with anyone. So a ton of you guys asked about the new sets that are coming up in 2021 and what I think of the new leaks slash rumors slash confirmed, whatever they are. And so I'm going to answer all of those questions now in one sort of go. I basically think they are really good. I'm honestly really happy with them. I think they could have been a lot worse. There's a really good sort of variety of sets. Obviously, no sequel sets as Sam points out there, but I think that's a good thing. But other than that, there's a really nice variety of mix between original trilogy, Mandalorian, that sort of thing. And on top of this, I think this goes quite well. Blobby McFlobby. On top of this, Blobby McFlobby asked if I could only get 3 of the sets, what would I get? And I'd honestly choose the Light Cruiser, Moff Gideon's Light Cruiser, the Imperial Transport set as well, and then on top of that, I'd also get the Bad Batch Shuttle, of course. But then obviously, you got to consider the possibility that the UCS Gunship will be included in that wave. So if the UCS Gunship was included in that, I would probably get rid of the sort of Imperial Transport sort of set. I don't know why I had so much trouble saying that name then, jeez. So a similar question from Lonely Trooper asked what my opinion is on the new Hoth figure. I presume he means the new Luke figure from the Microfighter set. I think that's a really sick figure. If you haven't seen it already, I'll put a picture up on screen. But basically he's got like a balaclava piece. I think his whole head is white and it's the actual face is printed onto the white balaclava, which I think is really cool, and it adds a really good look, and I think it's really more accurate to what we see in the movies. And hopefully they will actually sort of transfer this onto a lot of other Rebel Troopers that we get in the future based off of Hoth sets. Really good question from Red Bricks Productions next. He says, do you watch Lego YouTubers and other YouTubers such as First Order Lego to get tips to improve your mocks? And I definitely would recommend this, especially First Order Lego. A load of other people who do sort of like not stop motion, but like speed builds. Anyone who does speed builds, I would definitely recommend to watch, because you can really see how they put together their mocks and how they sort of create these insane creations. I'd also recommend like Star Marks is really good. And one person I'm watching a lot at the moment, I don't know whether I sort of gain a lot of techniques from them, but Lion Bricks is a really good YouTuber, and I love how satisfying his mock videos are to watch. He's just got really good high quality sort of videos, and I definitely say, yeah, recommend watching those sort of people to improve your mock building for sure. So pretty big comment here from Jojo. He is talking sort of about how as I grow with subscribers, I'll have more people in live streams and they might become less enjoyable or less interactive, that sort of thing. I definitely think this is a concern. Obviously I think I'm at quite a nice sweet spot at the moment where I'm getting enough viewers, so I've got constant questions to read and I can sort of keep up quite easily, which is really good, and I honestly love the support so much from you guys that come to my streams. They're super fun. But yeah, I'd say obviously I am a bit concerned about like maybe because obviously you see the bigger YouTubers but who don't sort of get to every question, and maybe that'll become less enjoyable. But I think I still will try and read every single question, even when I'm getting a ton more questions. I think I've got a long way to go before I start not being able to read comments and that sort of thing, so don't worry about that just yet. Mid Gamer Dude asked what my least favourite Clone Wars set is. So I actually had to do a bit of research for this. I was scrolling through Bricklink looking at all the Clone Wars sets, and I realised they were really good sets, but you got so lucky. Every single set, there's just such variety and such different cool builds that we never would have thought Lego would have made. Like there's so much variety in the sets that we got, but this was a tough decision. I would go with the Twilight. That's just one of the sets that for me just doesn't look right. It's just a weird blocky build. The front of it just looks a bit too weird. I know it's a weird ship in universe. That'll probably be my worst Clone Wars set. I just want to pause the questions and say, if you haven't already dropped a comment, go comment. You know what to do, guys. You can get your question answered in next week's video if you leave a comment down below. Darth Arid asked if I'd ever make a Battle of Geonosis mock, and I would definitely love to. I think it's quite a mock that you have to either go hard or go home on. It's one of those because it's obviously a very expensive piece. That dark orange, that sort of color is very expensive. So if you went for that color, it can be a very pricey mock to do. I know a lot of people are doing it at the moment. I know GM Productions, I think, is doing one, as well as True Squadron as well, are both doing big Geonosis mocks, I believe, at the moment. So if you want to go get your fix of Geonosis mocks, go check them out. But yeah, it's one thing I would love to do in the future. I've got a ton of Geonosis clone troopers for some reason, but yeah, I'd love to do one in the future, but I'm not really sure if I could do it at the moment. Maybe I'll just do a small one in the future, you never know. The Brick Armory asked if I'd rather have a minifig scale, Gunship or ATTE, and I think I would choose Gunship. Obviously, I think the 2013 ATTE is perfect. It's so nice. And also, it's quite easy to get your hands on compared to the Gunship. It's slightly easier price-wise and sort of how rare they are and stuff like that. Whereas the Gunship equally is an amazing build, but I think, personally, I think it's harder to get, so I'd rather have the Gunship on shelves so I can get more of them, if that makes sense. Superior Bricks asked what my favorite non-Star Wars theme or set is, and I would say it's probably that sort of like Lego Ideas sort of sets, like the I don't know whether the bonsai tree is a Lego Ideas set, but that sort of set, those sort of really nice clean 18+ looking sets. They're like the bonsai tree, that sort of thing. I think those would probably be my favorite. Nico asked who my favorite Lego Star Wars YouTuber is, and I kind of answered this earlier in the Brick Quiz, but I would say there's a few other ones out there. Obviously, I mentioned Lion Bricks earlier. I'm watching a lot of his YouTube videos because I think his are just super high quality. They're not Star Wars based, but they are Lego. But other than that, I probably... obviously, I've got all my friends that I really like to watch and all the smaller YouTubers and that sort of thing. But I'd probably say the Brick Quiz is up there when he's like consistently posting. He's a really good YouTuber, and I think his quality of videos really inspires me to up my quality as well. So I would go for the Brick Quiz. With the Slayer, yes you can. So QandA Dev asked what my favorite decaled clone trooper is, and I would say it is Kix. Obviously, he's my favorite clone trooper, so I've got to choose him. This is a really clean decaled one done by my friend Brick Freak. So yeah, really happy with this guy, and I would definitely recommend picking up some decaled figures. So British Waffle Productions asked if I'd ever considered or if I have done any stop motion in the past, and I think I did when I was really young. I remember there was like this Lego app you could get on your iPad, and it was like to help you do stop motion and stuff, and I remember sort of like having an old Gunship and like clones coming out of it and stuff like that, but I've never done it seriously or like anything to a high level. I think it was really sort of just basic stuff back when I was a kid, but yeah, I definitely consider doing it one day. I know it takes a lot of time and skill to do, and you've got to get really good at it, so maybe one day, but I'm not really sure. So Hazel Scully asked what my least favorite subset of Lego Star Wars would be, and I'd honestly say, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think the minifigures from any Clone Wars sets, like from about 2008 to 2012, 2013 were absolutely terrible. The faces on some of the Clone Wars minifigures were absolutely atrocious, and a lot of them just weren't very detailed. I know it was quite a while ago, however I still think Lego were like, they had the ability to do leg printing and even arm printing at that time, so I think they really just skimped out on the minifigures in the Clone Wars wave. There might be an unpopular opinion, you guys might not agree with that, but I think that would probably be my least favorite subsection of Star Wars. The Laser Brick Lego asked if I've ever been to Legoland, and I actually have. When I was pretty young, I went to Legoland. I can't really remember much about it. I know it's like the other end of the country for me, so like the other side of the country, so I haven't been many times. It's not too far, but I might go again one day, but I haven't got any plans. MJG Bricks asked if I could only collect one legion or sort of like squad or battalion, what would I choose? And I think I'd go with him. I think I'd go the 501st, purely just because Lego have made a really solid 501st sort of like trooper. I've got a ton of different 501st vehicles, and if I wanted to, I could make it a lot bigger. Also, the 501st are just awesome. They got a ton of different named clones, that sort of thing, and I think I would go with the 501st. Other than that, I'd probably say 327th Star Corps. They're really cool. However, I think their custom vehicles wouldn't look as good as 501st custom vehicles. There's something about that blue Gunships or blue ATTEs that just looks really good, as opposed to like yellow ones I don't think would look quite as good. One of a Kind asked if I play Minecraft, and haven't for a while. Pretty much, I played it for a few months before I got into Lego, when like probably over a year ago now, about this time last year actually, I was probably still just playing it. I got really into Minecraft, played it for a few months, and then I got more into Lego, so I kind of switched the two out. I think those are they're very similar, obviously, like with the building and stuff and creativity. So I probably could easily transition back to Minecraft, and I definitely would love to get back into it one day. It's a fantastic game. I'd probably say one of the absolute goats of the gaming sort of world. Red Brick's coming in with the second question of the day. So if you guys want to get your questions answered and little shout outs next week, leave your comments down below. But he asked what my favorite Star Wars species is. His is the Bith, I think that's pronounced. Yeah, so his like Thorn species, which I think is a really good answer. But personally, I would probably go with like the Trandoshans. I just think they're super cool, like the Bosk and stuff. I think they're a really cool species, and I would just love to see some more of them in the future. Boomer Productions asked what my favorite UCS set that I own is, and I only own one UCS set personally, so I'd have to choose that one, but I think it's my favorite UCS set ever as well, so it is the UCS Slave one. A lot of you guys know that's my favorite Lego set in general, so of course that's going to be my favorite UCS set. I guess Baby Yoda kind of counts as a UCS set, but I wouldn't count Baby Yoda as a UCS set, but yeah, other than that, it's just I don't have any others, but ones I need to get are the Star Destroyer. I need to get Star Destroyer, but I just don't think I'd be able to display it or anything. I think it's just a lot of money for that sort of thing. So I'm not sure whether I ever will buy any sort of like huge ones, but I definitely want to pick up a few sort of like $300 and less sort of ones in the future. Captain Rex Productions asked what my opinion is on custom painted clone troopers and other minifigures. I would definitely say if they're done well, then they can be amazing, and some of the sculpting people do on their custom sort of like clones and stuff is absolutely out of this world. There's some incredible talented people out there. However, if it's done badly, like what I did with my clone troopers, check out this video here if you haven't already. It can be absolutely horrific, but I would definitely say that they, even when they're done really well, they're not on the level of like decals or even prints, in my opinion. Personally, I know a lot of people love them, but I personally would not choose to get a custom painted clone over any sort of other different type of custom clone. I don't know if you can see in the background, but I have a custom painted Gregor in the background up there. That's probably one of my only custom painted figures, as well as an incinerator trooper, but other than that, I don't really choose to buy many custom painted clones. So Emily asked what my favorite clone is from the movies or the Clone Wars TV show, and I guess you guys probably guess it. It is Clone Trooper Kix. I kind of answered this earlier on, but yeah, it's Kix. He's my favorite. I just love the way he looks. I love the way he sort of like is the medic for the 501st. I think that's just awesome, and I think he's just yeah, a really cool clone in general. I love Yellow Lantern's attitude in this question. That first bit is incredible, but getting to his question, the best May the 4th minifigure, I would say, would just be any sort of exclusive figure that we haven't seen. I know Cody, he said except Cody, but like I'm talking like a really obscure but cool Star Wars figure that we haven't really seen much of, or would never really be built in a set or put into a set. Just like the ones we used to get. Some of those old figures were just so sick, and they just like wouldn't be the ones you'd usually see in a set, but it's the perfect opportunity to sort of make those more obscure minifigures and get them to the Lego Star Wars fans. However, I think if I had to pick one specific figure, I would go with Thrawn. I think Thrawn would be perfect this year. Like a May the 4th exclusive Thrawn would be insane. I think it's pretty much confirmed that we're not getting a May the 4th exclusive this year, which is a shame, but what can you do? PTA asked what series I'm going to do after I finish the Jedi Temple, and again, I'm not really sure. I've kind of got an idea for something I really want to do in the future, but I'm just not sure whether I'm going to do it straight after this building the Jedi Temple, or whether I'm going to do it in like a long time in the future. But there's a few things I've got on my mind, don't worry. I'm not going to give anything away yet, but I've got a few cool things coming up. So I've got 2 questions about sort of like what I do for a job and that sort of thing, and if I do YouTube full time. I kind of do, I guess. I don't have a job at the moment. Obviously, I'm a student, so I'm studying a degree, so I obviously don't have time to have a job as well. I probably would have a job if it wasn't for like COVID and stuff. I've obviously been going back and forth between my university town and my home, so I've kind of been hard to get a job, and obviously there's a lot less jobs going at the moment. So that pretty much leaves me with enough time to do a lot of YouTube a lot of the time, which I'm really thankful for, and it's really definitely helped my channel throughout this entire year, having that extra bit of time off. The last question of the day then comes from Zebron. He says, what set do you think Lego needs to remake? And I'd say without a shadow of a doubt, it's the ATTE Dropship. Like, imagine how good that would be if that came out now, with maybe like realistic clones, or phase 2 clones, and just some insane minifigures. Sort of just a straight up remake, like maybe a bit more solid build on the dropship, similar to what Republic Bricks has done, that sort of thing. And if they just brought that out as like a £600 UCS set, something like that, I think I would 100% buy that. It's gonna be it'd be so good. And with the price that set goes for on the aftermarket, I can definitely see the demand for it, so I don't understand why Lego wouldn't do it, but I think that'd be pretty cool nonetheless. Let me know what you think would be a cool set that needs remaking in the comment section down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, you're an absolute legend, so thank you so much. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you haven't already left your comment for next week, go do that right now in the comment section down below, and I will answer it in the next video. But without further ado, guys, thank you so much for the support lately. It's been insane. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.